Maria grew up with a deep-seated fear in her heart from a young age. She always felt she wasn't good enough, not for herself and not for others. Perhaps this feeling began when her parents or teachers would harshly criticize her every time she made a mistake. With the intent of improving or correcting her, they would tell her she needed to be better than she was, that she had to act like others. Maria quickly learned to rely on the judgment of others rather than trusting herself. Every time she tried, whether at school or in other activities, even when she succeeded, there was always someone or something reminding her that she still wasn't good enough. Comparisons, whether from family or society, quickly filled her mind. She always felt others were superior to her. Classmates, siblings, or even close friends all seemed more successful and stronger. These comparisons gradually trapped her in an invisible cage. Moreover, Maria grew up in a household where love and attention were given conditionally. She only received affection and approval when she did everything perfectly. This made her dependent on the validation of others. To feel worthy, instead of relying on herself, she was always waiting for others to say, "You're good enough." This dependence on external approval led her to fear every new step or any task that carried risk. Even small failures had a huge impact on her. She faced several setbacks during her school years or in different activities, and each time she interpreted those failures as proof of her own incompetence. These experiences slowly ingrained in her mind the belief that she wasn't cut out for starting anything new because failure was always lurking just around the corner. Throughout all these years, instead of trusting in her abilities and inner strength, Maria constantly sought the security that she longed for from others. A security she never truly felt because it was tied to the approval of others and the fear of losing them. This past shaped the roots of the fears she would carry into adulthood. Fear of failure, fear of losing loved ones, and even the fear of losing herself. One day among the people, Maria saw an old man sitting on a bench, looking at her with a friendly smile. Maria approached him, and the old man asked, "Why are you sad?" Maria shared her life story with him. The old man said to Maria, "My dear, you are like that bird that always sits on a branch, thinking that its wings are broken, but the truth is that it has never tried to fly." Maria asked in surprise, "Fly? But how can I fly? I always feel like others are better than me, and no matter what I start, I fail. Everyone is above me, and I feel stuck where I am." The old man kindly replied, "We are all birds of this world, but our wings only work when we trust them. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we fall, but only those who allow themselves to fall learn how to fly again. Your flight, Maria, is not about comparing your flight to others but finding your own way. Your wings belong to you, not to anyone else." Maria paused for a moment and then, with concern, said, "But I always feel that others are better than me, and that makes me unsure of myself. What if I fail, am blamed, and end up alone on this journey?" The old man smiled and said, "Fears are like shadows that always accompany us, Maria. The fear of failure, the fear of losing those we love, and fears like these are natural. But do you know that the bird that is afraid to fly from the branch will never see the beauty of the sky? You can stay on this branch and always be afraid. Or you can trust your wings and start flying. Even if you fail or those you love leave one day, your wings will always be with you. They will not leave you alone. Inside you, there's a strength that is greater than any fear. You just need to learn to trust it." Maria said to the old man, "You said there's a strength within me that is stronger than any fear, but I don't feel that strength. I don't know where it is. I've always lived in fear and doubt, and I never thought I could overcome it. How can I trust this strength when I don't even know it exists?" The old man chuckled and replied, "I have a story for you. Listen closely." He began to tell the story. Once, there was a small silkworm living in a dark cocoon, thinking that this cocoon was its entire world. It felt that in this enclosed space, there was no way to move, and it would always remain in this darkness. Days and nights passed with this feeling of helplessness, but something inside it compelled it to move little by little. It didn't know why, it didn't understand how, but it felt it had to try. And as it pushed forward, the cocoon began to split, and suddenly light penetrated the darkness. The silkworm realized that wings had been hidden within the cocoon. It was no longer a worm, but a beautiful butterfly. Even though before breaking the cocoon, it had never known that it had wings ready to fly inside it. The old man looked at Maria and continued in a calm voice. "Maria, you are like that silkworm. You have lived for years in the darkness of your fears and doubts, thinking that you have no way to fly. But what you don't realize is that within you lies a strength that, like the wings of a butterfly, is simply waiting for the moment when you trust yourself and break free from your cocoon." You may not see these wings right now. You may doubt their existence, but they have always been with you. Every time you have faced a challenge, every time you have risen from your failures, you have actually been strengthening these wings. But only when you decide to trust these wings will your flight begin. Many times we are unaware of our inner strength because we are always seeking validation from others or comparing ourselves to them. But our true strength lies where no one can see it, within us. The old man continued, "Remember, Maria, you have always thought that the outside world should tell you that you are enough. But the truth is that you have been enough since the moment you were born. It is not others who need to tell you this. It is you who must come to this realization. When you start to trust yourself, even in the face of your fears, you will see that your inner strength will find its way. Just as the butterfly begins to fly, you too will see that your life takes on a different color. But first, you must decide to trust yourself, even if you cannot see your wings yet. Now it's your turn to decide. You can stay in your cocoon in fear and doubt, or you can start believing in yourself, in the strength that has always been with you. Maybe you can't fully see it yet, maybe you can't quite feel it, but it's there, right inside you. Every step you take in life brings you closer to those hidden wings. You can decide right now to break free from this cocoon. You can learn that you no longer need others' approval. You can see that there is a strength within you that is stronger than anything you've ever felt. All you need to do is trust it. Maybe your first steps will be shaky. Maybe at first you won't fully recognize your wings. But every move you make, every moment you trust yourself, brings you closer to flight. Remember, flight begins when you decide to be a bird, not when others tell you that you are one. Maria slowly stood up and walked away, but his voice still echoed in her mind. Now the choice is yours. Do you want to fly? All of us, deep inside, have wings waiting for us to believe in them. Life may not always be easy, but the strength within us is stronger than any fear.